All right, folks. Hey, got a good one for you today. We're going to take a look at a pretty darn good retirement plan and then stress test it. Okay. Now, why is that important, you may ask? One, it's important that you have confidence in your plan to be able to get out of the one more year trap. So, confidence to make the decision to retire. So many people plan on retirement, but I'm telling you, they keep kicking the can down the road. Very easy to do. You need confidence to get there. One of the ways you can gain confidence is by stress testing your plan. That is knowing how it'll fail. How robust is it? And we're going to go through an example of that. I'm going to use a software package called New Retirement. I love it. I've been purchasing it for 3 years. Just bought my third year, I think. I think it's been at least 3 years. Just purchased it, $96, and I'm telling you, absolute bargain for that. I have a link below to 2 free weeks. It's a game changer, folks. I'll show you the format here in a second. Sign up with that link below to get 2 free weeks. See if you like it. I'm telling you, 99.9% of the people that try it absolutely love it. Um, that's what I'm going to use here. Okay. The second thing I'll say is don't go this alone. Okay. Don't go this alone. I recommend the guys from Money Pickle. That's the second link below. You can get on there and set up an appointment. You don't need to talk to anybody to set up the appointment. You just click on it. It says Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and they'll give you free 45 minutes to discuss any concerns you have about your retirement, when to take Social Security, what should you do about long-term care? Should you buy an annuity? All these questions, you can talk to a certified financial planner with these guys. So give that a shot. Do not go it alone, and try this new retirement software. You're going to love it. So, hey, last thing I'll say is I'm trying out a new screen recording software. My last one was a little bit clunky, had some volume issues. Hopefully this will be a little bit better. But, give me a little slack here. I am learning how to do this on the fly. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to pull up an Excel file, and we're going to take a look at Joe and Lisa's retirement. This is not me and my wife. This is just hypothetical Joe and Lisa. Very similar to the last video I put out, but we're going to do something completely different. Okay. Joe and Lisa, they're 60 and 57. Joe is currently working, making $108,000. Lisa is already retired. Joe's plan is to retire in 2 years. They have no debt. Assets, $1 million. And just for reference, 4% of $1 million is $40,000. We're going to use this in a second. They plan on taking Social Security. Joe at 70, Lisa at 67. Total income at that time, 62,640. Okay. So take the 4% from the investment, add investment income, add that to Social Security, you get 102,640. Okay, so pretty good, pretty good. Expenses, 550 a month, which is $66,000. That includes $1,000 a month for go-go spending from age 62 to 75, and from 75 to 80, slow go spending of $500 a month. So they have that change in spending as time goes by. Income minus expenses. So take this income of 102, subtract off the 66, you got 36,640. Okay. So it looks like once they start taking Social Security, got plenty of money, actually banking quite a bit of money. Also have one-time expenses, a car, furnace, roof, kitchen remodel thrown in there. Taxes, did 4 Roth conversions early on to maximize, fill up the 12% bracket. Got a long-term care plan. I picked, funding that from savings for Lisa, funding that from the home equity for Joe, just to show 2 different ways. And healthcare was $1,000 a month. So eyeballing this plan, looking at it in Excel, are they in good shape to retire? Okay. So, 4% rule, retiring at 62. It's got to make it, what's that, 8 years before they draw on it. Does it look okay? It's kind of hard to tell. I didn't say anything about inflation here. I didn't say when those one-time expenses are coming in. Didn't say what return was on the different assets. It's really pretty hard to tell. What are this plan's weak points? I think one of the weak points you can tell from this is they have a heavy drawdown in the first 8 years until Social Security comes. After Social Security comes, they're sweet. But that first 8 years is a little tricky. So can they retire? A lot of unknowns, and it's hard to tell, right? So let's go into new retirement. Okay, I'm going to move this over. Well, I'm going to put it up here. New retirement. Okay, currently it's showing 94% probability of success. Let's walk through this very, very quickly. Okay, this is not a tutorial on this, but I want to show you how that data from that Excel spreadsheet is included in here. So you've got assets. Here's $1 million in 4 accounts. Okay, so in those 4 accounts, I got the traditional IRAs, 800,000, 100,000 in brokerage, some in an interest savings account, some in a personal savings account. And then when you open up like the 401k, you can put in optimistic rate of return. What if hey, things go great, what could it be? If things go bad, how low can it go? You can put in different interest rates. I put in 5 and 7 because in this IRA, some money is needed right away in the first few years of retirement. And I don't need to hit any home runs with this plan. So, I'm not trying to get 10% returns. So I got some balanced accounts in there. I got some bonds, maybe a 60-40 portfolio. So it's not going to get real high returns, but it's not going to do too bad. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So you could do that on all the accounts. I got a $400,000 home that's paid for, no debt, Income, here's Joe's income, $108,000 a year for 2 more years, right? Here's Social Security coming in, and when they're taking it. I'll show that real quick. Start collecting, and it doesn't say age 70 here, but it does when I hover over it. 70, and wife takes it when she's 67. So she's eligible. She gets the spouse 50%. So cost of living adjustments, you can modify that. Okay, let's go over to expenses. I got some one-time expenses in here. $86,000 of one-time expenses. So $4,500 a month in expenses. Got the one-time expenses detailed out in here. Also, I put in, there's my living expenses, $4,500. I'll talk about this crazy spending in a second. That's part of the stress test. So go years, an additional $1,000 a month. Slow go, an additional $500 a month from retirement age to 75, and from 75 on to 80. Okay, so it makes perfect sense. So there we go. And then you jump into Roth conversions. Got 4 Roth conversions here. Okay, that's a subject for another video, but it chose to do 4 Roth conversions to take a look at taxes there. Excellent software package for looking at taxes here. So outstanding. So you take a look at this plan. I got one more thing. Let's go under assumptions. It's got me not me. This is Joe, not me, not this Joe. 87. My spouse living to 90. Retirement age is 62. Show some inflation rates. Okay, so there we go. So how do you feel about this plan? This software package says 94%. Okay, the first thing I want to do, this topic of this video is stress testing. So I'm going to move me over here. Is what's really cool about new retirement is go underneath assumptions here, this tab, and I can click on optimistic. Okay, so I click on optimistic. All my higher returns kick in. Remember under assets, I had 5 and 7%. 7% is optimistic, 5% is pessimistic. It jumped my probability of success up to 99%. It also selected the lowest inflation. So you can kind of get to see, how your assets are, what could they play out to be year by year. Okay, when we die, optimistically could have $8.2 million. And if things just go terrible, 3.9 million. That's pretty good plan. So you can look at everything, taxes, everything under optimistic. Okay. I prefer to look at average, which is that 94%. Okay. And this is a Monte Carlo result here. And then, but you could also, another form of stress testing is to hit this pessimistic. And for most people, their plan fails under pessimistic. Okay. But I like to know where my plan is going to fail. So yes, this plan fails. And, it worst case, it kind of fails here when I'm 75 years old. You can see that 75 there, right? 75 years old, retires, already drawn Social Security and the maximum amount of Social Security. So that's not horrible. So let's take a look at that. Income and expenses. I'm going to jump down to that. Let's look at that under income. And this is the income under pessimistic right here, right? So income under pessimistic, you're drawing down your savings here, and then you got Social Security kicks in really hard, and still some savings draw down, and then it kind of fails out here. But keep in mind, Social Security, you're bringing in 93,000. Now this is in future dollars, okay? This has been up for inflation, but that's kind of the worst that's going to happen is you're going to have to survive on $93,000 a year. And if that happens, all your savings are gone. The market did terrible. You're going to have to dial back your spending. You're going to have to dial back some of these expenses like, your go-go spending and your slow-go spending. So you take, $1,000 a month out or $500 a month out after age 80, it dramatically improves. But again, this is very simple built-in feature to new retirement to stress test. Okay, another thing I like to do, again, I'm going to move this back over to average assumptions on returns because that's what I really think is going to happen. If things don't go so well, it's still going to be somewhere around average, I believe. That's my risk profile. So I'm going to go into, remember the overview, 94% probability of success. So I'm going to go into expenses. And this gives me confidence. This is just a Joe thing. I don't know anybody else that does this. I'm going to say, okay, I got 94% probability of success. I'm going to say, what if I spend $400 more a month? Okay, that's not a random number. I know the answer to this, but let's just say, I say, man, for the rest of my life, I'm going to spend $400 more a month. Just my spending got out of control. We got away from my budget, and that is increase for inflation every single year. What's my Monte Carlo? Comes out to 77. Well, that's not a horrible number. 77%. Okay, so I kind of got to watch my expenses, but I can let's make that let's go to my one-time expenses, crazy spending, and let's make that 300. So that says I can spend $300 extra a month for the rest of my freaking life. Or I keep saying mine, but this Joe character. And the plan's still going to be 82%. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So stress testing says, hey, if you got a surprise $300 expense or $500 expense in a given month, over the course of 2 months, with crazy spending, it shows me that I could spend 600 and still have a pretty good plan. So that encourages me to spend and also retire. Okay, so we're gonna change that. That's number one stress test I like to do is crazy spending. So I'm gonna make that 0 again, just so it's not, impacting the next stress test. Okay, so we're going to go back to the overview. It's going to show us at 94%. The next stress test is going to be dying early. Everybody stress tests, living longer, and with this plan, you can just see it tapers off here at the end. But that's actually long-term care expenses coming in. You go down to projected. Let's say expenses, see these big expense bars out here, these big, magenta or purplish colored ones are long-term care expenses and cause those huge spikes. So I can't remember why I brought that up. Oh, but yeah, that's long terms. Long term, I'm telling you, the plan keeps going up until somebody goes into long term care and essentially dies. So if I put in there, both of us live to 100, the plan is still going to be great shape. The worst stress test for this plan is with age and longevity is, what if one of us dies early? One of us, Joe or Lisa, dies early. We can go into assumptions. You hear my 87 and 90. Let's go in and say, oh, Joe here dies at 71. Right after it takes Social Security, dies at 71. What happens is Lisa, this person's spouse, loses their Social Security, gains Joe's, but also starts to file taxes as an individual. Let's see what happens to the plan then. Okay, don't have to save. So let's go up here to overview. Boy, plan goes down to 62%. So one person dying early is a problem. Good thing we found this out, right? We stress tested the plan, found this out. What can we do about that? Hey, well, one spouse is dead. Let's go into expenses. So remember, 62%. If we went into expenses, I'll just state that we go into expenses and we lower expenses from $4,500 a month down to $4,000 because there's only one of us. You can't cut spending in half. It just doesn't work that way. But if cutting it down to just $40,000 or $500 a month takes the probability of success to 91. Let's go ahead and do that. That'll be fun. So let's go into the expenses just to show what the software can do. We're going to change expenses to $4,000 a month because one person has died, and well, I must have made some other changes. The probability of success goes up to 91%. So stress testing the plan, dying early. What are we going to do? One option is to cut your expenses $500 a month, which should be pretty easy. That can be the go-go spending, can be the slow-go spending as well. If you're traveling, going on a cruise or something, it's going to be cheaper if only one of you is going. But also things you can do is you could buy life insurance. Some people do that, just knowing that that's a risk. Another thing to factor in, and most people don't put this in their plan, is are there any windfalls of income coming into you? So like for myself, my parents are still alive. They're not going to be alive in 20 years. Okay, so I could put in what I expect in inheritance, take out some long-term care stuff, put in a conservative number. I could put in a number like, let's say, $150,000, put that in a windfall 10 years from now, and that will increase my plan. So I know by stress testing where my plan can fall apart. So there you go. That we stress tested it 3 ways. One was just going in and hitting the optimistic, pessimistic, average that new retirement provides you. Fantastic. Okay. And then we stress test it with crazy spending. Just to say, what if we had a bad couple months? Does it throw my plan out? Or we had a bad 2 or 3 years? Does it throw the plan out? No. Okay. And then dying early. Another thing I want to go to, I need to take off the get the expenses back. Give me a second. I'll show you how fast this is. Living expenses, 4,500. And then I got to go into longevity and change this under assumption, sorry. I'm going to go in and change Joe back to 87. 87. See how easy it is to maneuver around these? And then the overview goes back to 94%. Let's take a look at taxes. Okay, my favorite topic is taxes. You go down here to federal tax income by federal tax bracket. You say, man, doing those Roth conversions filled up the 10% and quite a bit of the 12% bracket. Joe's not paying it. Joe and Lisa aren't paying any taxes out here for a long time. Now, some of you may say, hey, don't do some of those Roth conversions and fill up this 10%. Yeah, that could be a good play. You're playing between, you're getting the arbitrage between 10 and 12%. But Joe and Lisa here said, I want to get the taxes in the rear view mirror. I don't want to pay 22%, but if I could pay 12% now and get the taxes in the rear view mirror, I don't want to have to worry about what the federal government's going to do. But again, an outstanding software package. Looking at the Excel sheet, it looked like Joe and Lisa were in pretty good shape. Okay. But then, the timing of when you're pulling out of your assets to the timing of Social Security, the impact of inflation, the impact of rates of return, the impact of one person dying early. You don't really know that. Okay. Where this software makes it super easy, super easy. If you buy this software, they have a coach that can help you walk you through the software one-on-one. I believe it's $175. They'll walk you through everything. And again, you can contact the folks at Money Pickle and just say, here's what my plan is. I'm worried about when I should take Social Security. I'm worried about diversifying my assets. I'm worried about retiring at 62 versus 65. Any specific question you have, get these guys at Money Pickle. It doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, they're going to give you a little sales pitch at the end, the last 5 minutes, but they're going to try to earn your trust. That's what they're doing. It's not going to be an hour or 45 minutes of a sales pitch. Okay. So that's what I wanted to show today. I want to stop sharing here. Let's see if I can do that. Stop sharing. Share. Yeah. Anyway, I'll just keep going. I'll have to learn that on another one. So I'm going to be making several videos like this. People have asked for demonstrations of if real examples of people that are retiring. These are real numbers, actually. I've disguised the people, disguised several things, but this is an example of somebody that would talk to me as a retirement coach saying, what do you think of this plan? And they've got it on Excel, and I put it in new retirement, and boom, it really gives great confidence when you can stress test. Okay, that's my point. All right, it's Joe out.